So how to quit caffeine the right way? How many times have you ever woken up in the morning and you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I need a coffee? The very statement of saying need implies that without this substance, we're not able to function the right way. And it's not just coffee. I'm talking about Monsters, Red Bulls, any kind of energy drink, and heck, even sodas nowadays have caffeine in them. And it's because I truly believe that this Western society, and heck, regardless of where you're watching in the world, caffeine has become ubiquitous with energy. When people think energy, they think caffeine, when the reality is you don't need caffeine to actually have good energy. Look, in this video, I want to give you a couple different takeaways of exactly how to overcome a caffeine addiction. And then in addition to that, I'm going to show you a couple ways in which you can start using caffeine to your advantage. So the first thing I want you to understand when it comes to actually giving up caffeine is I would not recommend the cold turkey approach. Cold turkey approach simply means if you're having a lot of coffee every single day, maybe 2, 4, even 6 cups a day, for you to all of a sudden just cut it off completely. Because what's going to happen is you're actually going to experience withdrawals. Look, a caffeine addiction is a real thing. You have so much of it that when you actually give it up, you can actually reach a point in which you actually begin to experience headaches, low energy, you're in a bad mood because you're not having enough caffeine. Now, how do you actually cut down on caffeine then? I would encourage for you to cut down by the 50% method. Now it's very simple. Let's say right now that you're having 2 cups of coffee every single day. Now each cup of coffee has, let's say 100 milligrams of caffeine to give it a nice even number. Well, that means that it's gonna be about 200 milligrams of caffeine that you're consuming. So for the next 7 days, what I want for you to do is to cut that down to only 100 milligrams of caffeine or 1 cup of coffee. Now, once you're able to function, sure, your energy levels might be a little bit lower, but guess what? You're operating on less caffeine on a daily basis. Then for the next 7 days, cut that down by another 50%, 4 ounces or 50 milligrams a day. And at this point, once you've gone 7 days relying on only 50 milligrams, that's half a cup of coffee, then you can then resort to either cutting out coffee completely or having drinks that have even less caffeine in them. Something like green tea. I believe green tea only has 15 to 20 milligrams of caffeine per little tea bag. The whole goal here is over the course of 1, 2, and up to even 3 weeks, you want to cut down by half, and half until eventually you don't have to rely on caffeine anymore. The next action step that I want to share with you is you want to make sure that you stay hydrated. Look, caffeine is something that is a diuretic, which means that it's going to encourage for you to pee, right? Your body is going to dehydrate itself the more caffeine that you consume. So it's very important for you to understand that during this period in which you're trying to quit caffeine, you want to hydrate yourself. Now, it just so happens that water, in of itself, as simple as it is, increases your energy levels when you're overhydrated. When was the last time you actually sat down with a bottle of water on your table when you're working? How many of us here actually sit down in front of a laptop and go for 3, 4 hours without actually taking a sip of water? Very, very important here that during this time in which you're trying to leave caffeine, that you stay very hydrated. Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you I want to share with you a way to use caffeine as a superpower to your advantage, and I want to share that with you right now. Look, eventually when you phase out caffeine and you go for a few weeks or even a few months without having caffeine, you're going to begin to develop a higher sensitivity to it. Because when you have caffeine for such a long time, you begin to develop a tolerance. Having 1 cup of coffee used to have a great effect on you, but then now it takes 2 to have that same effect, right? But what happens is when you actually begin to phase yourself away from caffeine, you begin to develop a lower and lower tolerance and a higher sensitivity to what caffeine can actually do for you. To give you an example of this, caffeine for myself, if I had even 4 ounces, 50 milligrams of coffee in the morning at 6 or 7 a.m., I have difficulty falling asleep at nighttime. It wasn't like this before. The only reason why I've been able to develop the sensitivity is because I don't drink coffee on a regular basis. In fact, I'll have coffee maybe once every 3 months when I need it. And so the high performance lesson I want for you to understand here is simple. Treat coffee like it's medicine, because that's really what it is. Look, you don't take Advil, you don't take pain medication unless you're actually having a headache or you're having a little bit of fever. In the same way, you shouldn't be taking caffeine unless you absolutely need it, just like medication. Nowadays, when I rely on simply hydrating, on hitting the punching bag like that thing over there, this is how I actually increase my energy levels. I don't need to rely on caffeine to do so, but it just so happens that once in a while I have a critical emergency. Let's say I have to finish a deadline before midnight. I can take a little bit of caffeine and that will do wonders for me, when for most people, it wouldn't really have an effect. The way you do this is to simply treat it like medicine, which means you shouldn't be taking it every single day. Hey, I hope that these 3 different lessons gave you loads of value. And look, when it comes to increasing your energy levels, phasing out caffeine and substituting a couple other things, these are just little short ways for you to actually increase your performance. I want to show you how to increase your performance in all areas of life, in your academics, in your business, and in your overall relationships. So that's why this coming Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a live high performance masterclass in which I'm going to show you exactly how to double your productivity and get back a minimum of 10 hours of your week. It's completely free for you to attend. And on this masterclass, I'm going to give you my personal planner as well as a high performance schedule that took me over 12 months to develop. And I might just be giving away a couple free iPads on this masterclass as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the registration page. Type your name, your email, and look, even if you can't attend this coming Saturday, no worries, still register. Because if you can't attend, I'll send you over the replay. And I cannot wait to see you next week's video. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll see you next time. Super!